Hi guys, Elaine here, the Animal Reiki lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world and whenever you happen to be catching this video. It is great to see you here. So it's time for another topic. Not so much a channeling this time as it is a conversation, insights that cats have given me. One cat in particular, actually it's more than one cat, it's multiple cats. Insights that they have given me about their life, particularly stray cats, and recognizing them as individuals. So, first of all, for those of you who may be catching this video for the very first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, and I help people build deep spiritual healing connections with animals. And I have really honed in on helping people cope with and prepare for the loss of a pet. And that has so many, that's a whole conversation for another day, what loss of a pet means. Today, we are going to be focused on a stray cat who ran away from home. And I have been contacted by someone who asked me to not help find the cat, but to connect with the cat and ask them to return home. And boy, did that trigger me. So this was last week, and um, and we had crazy weather here in Colorado, so I had a lot of internet difficulties, which turned out to be a good thing because I needed those technical challenges to take a step back because it really it triggers me. That's the best word that I have for it. I don't like to use the word pet psychic because people have expectations of pet psychics, that pet psychics can work miracles. And I'm certain that there are some people who are amazing pet psychics who can immediately find, track, help find a lost pet. But when I get those lost pet requests, it really, um, it brings up some blocks for me because I don't like to deliver bad news. And I frequently get feelings from animals who are lost that they won't ever return home. And how do I deliver that message? It even makes me want to cry now. How do I tell somebody that? And so I choose not to go that route because it really it hurts my heart. But this time, something different came up with it. I really sat with it for a little while. I asked to connect with this cat and to get some insights about cats who run away. And it brought back to mind a cat when my children were little named Thomas, and I'm going to share that story with you. So the first thing is the request was, please reach out to my cat and call them home. They were lost in the storm. So in the UK, there were some crazy storms like last week, well, actually, I think it was like 2 weeks ago here in Colorado last week. Crazy ice and snowstorms. But can you ask the cat to return home? And so that phrase alone brought up some things for me because return home may mean not returning to your home. Returning home has so many different meanings. Returning home can be physical. They can return home. It can be spiritual. It can be energetic. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in just a second. It can be returning to somebody else's home. And those are the things that give me heartache, right? I don't want to be able, I want to be able to deliver only good news, and I can't always do that. So, but let's talk about this because this cat really turned the situation around for me. When I really started to think about this and when I really leaned into it, I remembered my cat Thomas. And I'll tell you about Thomas. Thomas was a cat that was found in the engine of my car. So my kids and I were driving to the daycare one day, and we heard this meowing, meow, 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 meow. Where is this coming from in our car? We didn't have a cat. And when when I got home, I still heard meowing, and from underneath the car comes a cat. So he had clearly been hanging out there. And the kids wanted to keep him, and I would absolutely keep him. I don't discard pets like that. And so we named him Thomas, and we brought him into our house. And he stayed with us for maybe a year, I want to say, before he took off again. And Thomas was a stray. And I've experienced this with other stray cats. Another friend of mine who's a stray cat, Christopher, also did the same thing. They go back out. Strays are very independent. They may disappear time and again. They may come back time and again, but they frequently disappear. They are so independent. Here's the thing about stray cats, they are survivors. In fact, I will tell you that they never really die. Thomas, when he ran away, he just walked out the door one day. He ran outside. We couldn't get him back, and a couple weeks later, I saw him in a little alleyway, and he was inside a little box. He let me approach him, but he did not come back inside. He would not come back inside. Once, when we brought him back inside, he ran right back out again. He would have no parts of it. He would still show up from time to time, looking for food, and we always fed him. We always brought him inside. We always loved on him, but he was an independent outdoor cat, and he wanted no parts of staying inside. So that's one thing. They're very independent. They are survivors, and I'll tell you what I think about the never really dying part in just a minute, because I call this stray cats are angels in disguise, and here's why. They will go to the people who need them most. They will stay with you for as long as they feel they need to, for whatever they need to show you, teach you, whatever love they need to give you, whatever that is. They will stay with you for as long as you need them as a teacher, and then they go and they move on to another family. They move on to another person. Um, they are not homeless. They are not stray. They are their own unique individuals. They love to be recognized as unique individuals. They want their preferences honored. And so stray cats they're also magic. So let me tell you about this thing about that they never really die. I'd had a client who reached out to me whose cat had crossed. And she was feeling the intense grief. We all know this. We've talked about this so many times. That grief that we can't get over, carrying it even a year, 2 years after the passing of our cat or pet or dog, whatever it happens to be. Still carrying that grief and still so sad. And what we did was use a surrogate. And we went to a horse farm. And this was not my intention in the beginning. It was just to go and try to help her find some relief. We went to a horse farm, and this one horse in particular walked right up to her, gazed into her eyes as if he knew her. The horse just no introduction, no. I mean, it was a horse and person who meeting for the first time. It was like love at first sight. The horse walks up to her, looks deeply in her eyes. She's crying. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. And I thought the horse was just healing her, right? So that's what I'm so used to. I work with horses all the time, amazing healers. I thought the horse was just tapping into a spot with her to help her ease her grief and healing her, and the flow of emotion was making her cry. Afterwards, though, she confided in me that when she looked into the horse's eyes, she saw the soul of her cat. And it brought her such peace and such calm and such a sense of, I guess peace is the best word for it, knowing that her cat was fine, knowing that her cat had a beautiful life, and knowing that her cat was magic enough to be able to show up in the eyes of another animal, to remind her how much she was loved, to share with her how much peace and calm there was, to ease the grief. And so that's really the message that I want to share. I am not a pet psychic in that way that can find, and I also believe that when people ask me to find their lost pets, they want me to say, okay, so your dog is in a red brick house on Cherry Street with a white picket fence, go bang on the door and bring him home. Because the information that I receive from animals is more, it's not language, it's feeling and it's perspective. So from a dog, I might get, okay, the ground smells weird. There's lots of sticks here. There's some old dead leaves. I feel like there was a cat here once. That's the kind of sensations I get because they're going to have a completely different perspective. They're not going to look up at a house and see the number 1631. Please come find me at Cherry Street. It doesn't quite work that way. So I can't bring pets home in that way, but I can help you find peace. And I can reach out to animals and spiritually, energetically connect with them and ask them to return home. Ask them to find their way home, remembering that sometimes home is heaven and sometimes home may be another place, but they are always available to us energetically and spiritually. And so, what I'd like to do is just share with you as I try to something practical. You may not consider practical. It's just what I do each and every time, is just to quiet your mind, take a few deep breaths, focus on your animal companion wherever they may be, on the rainbow bridge, wandering the earth, living their own beautiful life. Place hands on heart, take 1 or 2 deep breaths, call them to mind, and ask them to share something with you. It's that simple. Just ask them to share something with you. 9 times out of 10, it's only going to be a feeling. It's going to be it will be a feeling of love or peace or calm or compassion, something that just washes over you, and know that it was them. Sometimes it's something more concrete, but that's usually what it comes across as, a beautiful, loving feeling. Know that you can stay connected with them. Whatever they choose to be their life, it is their life. Honor their preferences, honor their choices, love them unconditionally, and they will love you right back no matter where in the universe they happen to be. Okay, that's my lovely message for today. I will continue with the channels. It's down to, it's 1 or 2 times a week. I just have to face that's what that's how it works for me. 1 or 2 times a week. I will keep going with as many as you would like me to do. I'll share this information, and I hope that the animals light your way. Take care. Bye.